Okay, so I'm just gonna jump straight into it. This is gonna be the very basics for when you're starting your edit. The first thing I'm gonna go over is getting the highest quality clips that you can is very important. So if you actually do want to get like fully truly 1080p quality clips, you want to be avoiding stuff like downloading your clips from like YouTube, um unless those YouTube clips are actually, HD. Um, and you also want to avoid using pre-cuts. Now, it's totally up to you, but this is just how I personally, some people ask me how I get my quality. So this is how I get my quality by avoiding using like presets that other people did for me. I just do it myself by downloading the raw clips. Okay, so with that, I'm gonna get on to actually how to start your edits properly. So, when you open After Effects, you usually come across this page right here where you can open a new project or open an existing project. And I'm just gonna obviously press new project. Um, and if you've watched my beats video, you'll know that when I start an edit, I like to press new composition from footage, and I like to click on my audio for that. So it'll create a new composition with the length of my audio. But for the sake of this video, I'm not going to do that, and I'm just going to press new composition. You can choose either one, of course. It really doesn't matter. And you can name it if you want to right here. And over here, if you're trying to do a landscape edit, this should be exactly the width and height of your composition. And it should say 16 to 9 right over there. If you're trying to do like a 3/4 rectangle, it will be 1440 x 1080, which the aspect ratio right here will say 4 to 3. And then if you're trying to do a square, it's just going to be 1080 by 1080, which is 1 to 1. And now the most important part right here is setting the frame rate. So make sure you choose the frame rate that you want. So obviously if you're doing 20 FPS, put 20. If you're doing 18, put 18. If you're doing 24, put 24, right? Just make sure to choose this. And then this duration will be how long your composition is, or rather just how long you want your edit to be. And you probably on average can just increase this like a minute just so you have room to work with when you actually start your edit. And I'm just gonna rename this edit. Okay. So when you have this, the second thing you would want to do is mark all your beats. So if you don't know how to do that like super properly, you can go ahead and watch my other video about marking beats. But I want to pretend that I have beats here. So I'm just gonna add like one here. Actually this is very long beat. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna add one here, add one here. I'm gonna pretend that my edit loops right here. So you can rename these by just right clicking and pressing settings. So loop. So I'm gonna pretend my edit loops here. I'm gonna drag a random audio into my edit. Um, uh, this. Why not? Okay. Random audio into my edit. Doesn't matter. Okay. Then we're gonna set up your clips one by one. So, again, I'm just gonna grab random clips. Attack on Titan. You Ackerman. Just slap 3 of those in there. If you do want quick organization, you can press new folder on the side here by right clicking it and pressing new folder, and you can just name this like clips. And then you can highlight all of these. I'm holding shift down. I'm just gonna click the top one and it highlights them all, and you can just drag into clips. And then you'll have all your clips be in this folder right here. And then we're just gonna drag them in here one by one. This is my first beat. I guess I'll just move it. Move the beat. This is my second. Move this, and this is my third, and then this is my pretend loop. Okay, so this is how it's gonna be. This is how your clips should look. Okay, it should look like this, like staircase, right? This is just for organization purposes. Just makes everything easier later on. So right, your clips layered one by one. And typically, you want to sort out all your clips first, get your pacing done before you actually start to edit. Okay. Then, also, if you use my remap method, there is a certain way that you have to do stuff if you actually want to composite. So, this is for those who use my remap method. If you don't use my remap method, you can just skip this part of the video. Okay, so if you use my remap method, I'm gonna pretend, here, you pre-comp this, right? You're gonna add Twixtor. You're gonna pre-comp that. You're gonna enable time remap. You're gonna remap this. And then if you're planning on compositing, you wanna press adjustment layer, right? You wanna highlight the two. Or you don't have to press adjustment layer, you don't have to script, but just add an adjustment layer on top. You wanna highlight the two, you wanna move this into a new comp. Just make this into a comp. So then if you want to composite, the FPS will stay the same as the FPS from outside. If you don't put an adjustment layer in there, your FPS inside the composition will be different from the FPS of your actual edit. So when you end up compositing, there can be a lot of like visual errors and glitches if you have mismatched FPS. So this is why that's very important if you use my remap method. Okay. Next, for everyone, not just my remap people, we need to properly layer effects. So when you're finally planning on adding effects after doing your remap or whatnot, your adjustment layers are going to be where you put your effects. We're not going to put effects on the actual layer. Please avoid doing that. I'm going to put them on the adjustment layers. So this right here, I'm just going to make like 5. Okay. The first layer right here, this layer is going to be your shakes. The second layer right here, this is going to be your background shakes for my impact people. The third layer right here is going to be if you have any type of transform adjustment layers, which means using the effect transform right here. If you have any transform adjustment layers, it's going to go right above the background shake or shakes. And then right here is going to be where your blurs are, slash blurs. Okay, yeah, blurs. And then the one above it is going to be any type of exposure, like exposure, comma, flashes. And then your last one is going to be framers, and other effects. Just like this. This is exactly how all of your effects should be layered, in terms of adjustment layers. And of course, if you're using motion tile, your motion tile needs to be on the very top of the list. So for example, if I have a shake on here, a shake, I'm just gonna plop a shake. If you want to add motion tile to this, motion tile needs to be above a shake like this. And this is for pretty much any effect like ever. So if you realize that your effect needs tile, put tile above it. Okay. And then lastly, nulls obviously just doesn't really matter where they go, but for organization purposes, I always put mine right above the layer. Just like this. So of course, again, if you're doing all this, you can just do it normally, blah blah blah. And that'll be it. I don't think I missed anything, but if you still have any questions, just comment down below. I hope this helps.